Alright, welcome back to Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. This is the Agamemnon campaign, year 1. This is going to be episode 12, chapter 5, Battle at 2nd Scorpia. Today's video comes from the 7th of September 2017, and the audio voiceover was done on the 18th of September 2017. In all, there were 7 battles done or recorded on this day, and this is the 2nd battle for that day. Okay, here we go. Continuing on from where we left off in the last episode, I am consolidating the fleet based on new constructions. We have 1 officer in the field. We had completed the battle over at 2nd Cocalus. We're trying to get this guy way off in Zeus, free from Cylon attack. So we're going to jump him over into this nearby star system, as that's the furthest place he can jump to. Safety. I believe we took this adamant and moved it into the Daedalus fleet. At the time I was recording this, I was still trying to get familiar with how to use this strategy index in managing fleet movement and coordinating fleet activities, both on the map table and with the controls. I'm aware that the orange markers are our chapter markers and the blue markers are our resource markers. We're probably not going to go back for the resource over there at Caprica, as it's taking us in the opposite direction. You don't have to take every resource mission. I don't know why I clicked on the rush button. I think I just hit the wrong button. So this guy, we end up jumping to here, which makes us have to resolve that before we can do anything else. So when I hit the end turn, the computer calls that story up. And before we can proceed with the game, we have to resolve that conflict. So, as any good game person will do, is you save at that position. In case you screw it up, you can have a place to fall back to. Prudence. Game players. So we're going to proceed. I don't anticipate we're going to lose this battle, but you had to assume that you will. So here we go. We consolidated the fleet. Now switching to our pre-jump map, we're going to switch out our Vipers for our Raptor squads. One thing you should always do before you pre-deploy your fleet into the tactical theater is be mindful of what ship your officer is on. They tend to always stick the officer on whatever the strongest ship you have. In this case, they put the officer we put in the field on Daedalus, which was kind of good. But if you're not with the Daedalus, they're going to randomly put them on whatever the strongest ship you have out in the field. So when you deploy your unit, you need to make sure that you're not sticking your officer out there to be murdered. So one thing I'm trying to learn as we're deploying more and more ships or fleets separate from the data list is pattern of behavior of the Cylons. What ships do they tend to attack first? How often do they do it? What's the frequency of the attack? How often are they dedicated to that? How consistent are they? And how reliable and how valid are their attacks? These are the things that I'm trying to study over the next couple battles. Again, as I said earlier, the 7th of September had 7 battles, and this is battle number 2. One thing that all these videos from the 7th of September will demonstrate is we started using the map table more in the video and deploying, and I think it's only natural because, as I said in the last episode, you start to move away from the tutorial part of the story where they're pretty much directing you to start from Scorpia shipyard to go to Pecan and then back to Caprica. And then they're pretty much steering you back to go to Ragnar, which is ultimately where they need you to go. You don't necessarily have to go there, but you should because that's the safest place on the map for Daedalus. In your fleet, if you want to be able to construct new ships without the Cylons destroying them, that's the safest place in the map to go because the Cylons can't enter Ragnar because the radiation is deadly for them. They can't operate in there. But on our way there, these are the battles that we had to fight on the 7th. And kind of lost my train of thought, but as we are deploying now, and this, I call it this second phase of the game or campaign, it's really up to you. You're the tactical planner of the war, you're the tactical planner of fleet movements, and you're the person who's planning strategically how the fleet's going to evolve over the course of the war. And I like that aspect of the game, and I think that where a lot of people are going wrong in the game, as I read comments of people who haven't had much success at the game, these type of games don't spill everything out for you, don't tell you how to do everything, and they're not designed to where they hold your hand from point A to point B. A lot of games out there do that nowadays, and that's the problem when I see with a lot of online games is they spend too much time catering to people who have to be told everything to do, and you essentially just do whatever the mission tells you to do and it's over with, but there's no real thought process in the campaign. You can't really deviate from it. And so what I like about this game is that you can sort of chart your own destiny, and that's what we're trying to do from this moment on in a battle or in our campaign. So I've gone ahead and switched out the Raptors. I repositioned the fleet in a line. I want them to start in a defensive line. At this point of my game, as I had alluded to earlier, I had watched the Enter Elysium videos that were put out in August, but I hadn't really paid attention as to like where he was, what he was doing. I don't remember every single battle he was in. I just remember that he struggled from Coculus forward in the game. And for me, from this point on in the game, it's kind of new territory for me. I don't really know what's going to happen in the story. And so I have a vague remembrance of what's happening, but I don't really remember too many details about what had occurred. I just know from a lot of the other videos I've seen recently, many people aren't employing tactics. And what do you mean by tactics? When we say the word tactics, What does it mean? For a military person, it's the way you deploy your fleet in the theater. It's how your order of battle will occur. It's how you will move as a unit, as a fleet, how you're going to engage the enemy, what happens, what are your contingencies. If your officer dies, what do you do? Um, if your fleet gets splintered off because your officer dies, how do you recover from that? And so all these things have to be thought out ahead of time, prior to the battle.
Multiple traders contacts, Commander. Scorpion intel has
And
already
so
hostile bogies.
I don't see too many people using tactics. So here we are, we're coming in, we're returning back to Scorpia. This is where the game basically started you from. This is where we blew up those two Nemesis. We took the Athena and picked her up here at the shipyard and delivered her to Pecan. So here we are. We've learned as tactical planners that whenever the Cylons are way off in the distance like that, that means they're setting you up for ambush. So what I've determined to do is just sit here in a defensive line and wait to see what develops. I'm not charging in. I'm not running in there like an idiot. I'm going to stay here like an idiot, waiting for see what the enemy does. First thing we do after we deploy is we set up our postures and we launch all our aircraft. One of the things that I didn't know going into this battle is that you could heal Vipers. I have since learned this. If your Viper squad's numbers start depleting and Raptor squads deplete, you just have to recall them back to their ship and let them sit inside the ship for a while, and that will heal them over time. The rate at which they heal, I don't know, as I haven't gotten a chance to try it out in battle yet, but something I tend to want to explore moving forward in the game, but I wish I had known that at this battle. However, our Raptors, we lost one Viper squad, and the other one, because it was at half strength, I pretty much sent it off to defend people. I didn't really see in committing them to suicide. So I felt that they were at half strength and there was no sense in leaving them out there to be massacred. But had I known that they could be healed, I would have recalled them a lot earlier in the battle. But we got a lot of good strike ops in this battle from our Raptors, and that was something I really was looking forward to in this battle. In this battle, we knew how to use our attack aircraft, and I wanted to take advantage of that in this battle. We were ready for the Cylons, in my opinion. Now we're setting up our gun batteries for maximum defensive posture. Now what occurs in this battle is they bring a Revenant, and I think that's to show you that get a chance to see a cruiser in action. We did get to use a Battlestar earlier in the game, but won't be able to deploy a Battlestar for some time. But showing you from this moment on, the ships are going to scale up. And as we alluded to in the previous episode, in the blueprint section, the numbers with the ships correlate with the chapter. Since this is chapter 5, that's when we unlock the blueprint for our cruiser, which is, I believe, the Ranger. We also unlocked the blueprint for the Battlestar Artemis at this time, but we don't have the requisition points to buy the blueprints, which even as of the 18th of September, I don't have enough requisition points to get them, but it's something I'm looking for. as you'll see in the coming episodes. Yeah, I'm lining up my guys, setting up a strong defensive line. I felt really confident coming in this battle. I knew we were going to win the battle. I no doubt we were going to win the battle. It was just a question of how we were going to win the battle and at how long it would take to win the battle. I knew our defense would hold. No matter what they threw at us, I knew our defense would hold. I'm kind of glad I brought the Raptors. As you know, I always deploy them. Because they proved to be useful in this mission. You'll see coming up. For those of you that haven't had a chance to play this chapter, you'll see that in a moment. Alright, here we go. We're off. Cylons are coming in. We're deployed. Our Raptors are on the field of battle. So are our Vipers.
Yes, sir.
Not knowing what we're facing out there, I decided to send my air wing to exploit that. Gather intel on the enemy. I felt that sending them in mass would reduce their risk of damage. Had I known that the Vipers could be healed, I would have recalled them. Once their numbers reduced to about half strength, I would recall them to give them time to rest and recuperate, and had sent them out later in the battle. But I didn't know that. But
Yes, sir.
well, I was looking forward here to going over and dropping some rockets on whoever this guy is over here. I know it's at least a Talon, because he's got a fighter squadron showing. I know it's a big target. Larger than a Nemesis. Now, since we did not know the strength of the Cylon force heading into the battle, I have not had a chance to calculate what the Revenant's strength is in the battle. Imagine I could just go out to the skirmish tool or multiplayer tool and look it up. But I'm not thoroughly convinced that those are the same numbers. They probably are. Here we go, we're deploying our people. Our defensive line is holding its position until we know more about the enemy.
So say we all.
Making sure these guys aren't drifting too far and separating from our line. If they do, sometimes it produces gaps in your line and you have to make minor course adjustments to correct for that.
Understood.
In this battle, I still was not, I would say, proficient at deploying the adamant. I'm still filling it out, still learning all that I could do with it. And I would say these 7 battles that occurred on the 7th went a long ways to
Hostile unit
educating me
identified.
to its capabilities. Here's our chance for our first strike. Gonna target this Talon. He put himself in a bad spot. He's about to learn that he goes down fast.
Understood.
Comes these, remember, 24 Raptors. That's 96 rockets coming at you. And what's that, 196 rockets coming at you? Combined.
Yes, Commander. Yes, Commander.
Oh, we're setting up our rocket attack on this guy. Or a missile attack. We need to demonstrate onto the enemy what will happen to them if they cross this line.
Missile tubes prepped.
It's actually in range of our
Hostile unit
gunfire now.
identified.
They revealed a Revenant there, but we're not going to lose discipline. We're going to maintain our defensive line and smash them.
Commander, I'm seeing hostile contacts not engaged in the fighting. They appear to be scouting the Scorpia fleet's wreckages.
They'll be scavenging for ammunition. Destroy the wreckages before the Cylons can turn our own slugs against us, Commander.
Commander, a word? I don't often have the luxury of investigating field damage. A few moments of footage before you destroy those hulls could provide invaluable data.
We know that guy's a traitor. Of course, he would have you go do some ridiculous thing in the middle of battle to waste time. I was scanning through here to see what all the priority targets were. If you have a lot of targets in the field, it's good to maybe scan through that list to see what they're calling as a priority target. So now we're going to use our move tool to redeploy our Raptor to this spot. The mission isn't very clear on what to do, so we're going to investigate this spot. And hope that when we're over there, they give us more instructions. We're going to recall this other guy so he can go back and get more rockets. See the Viper there down the 9, I should have recalled him back now. I should have recalled both those squadrons back now. And they would have healed up. But I didn't know that. So that's why I didn't do it. They were laying massive fire, and it was because of that Revenant was there, and he's got a pretty strong defense. But we're ready for them. This guy goes down. See the rocket attack that hit that guy? Ended him. So now we're going to pivot our fleet. Now this guy's losing a lot of strength, so I have him come back and defend Daedalus, I believe. If I remember correctly. I'm not a suicidal commander. I like to not send my people up and get them massacred if possible. Try to avoid that. Actually, I send him over to defend this Manicore over there. It looks like it. On the end, he's being shot by all these missiles. Chance to test out our missile screen.
On it, Commander.
Got 2 guns on this Manicore facing this Revenant coming in. If he's of any typical design, I'm sure his guns are broadside. Our adamants aren't fully turned, and we can't fully turn them for another round, so I'm going to move them to an intermediate position so that on the next turn we can form our battle line to decimate the enemy. Raptor hasn't returned yet. You can see in the sheet there he's being recalled to where he's going, and he's moving to a location. That's good information. I'm glad that little tool there tells you all that kind of stuff. He's defending Manicore. The only thing with that, it doesn't tell you what Manicore he's defending.
Missiles incoming.
Now when your Vipers are defending a ship, they're not 100% a missile screen, not like flak. And you need to know that. Be aware of that. They'll shoot some of those missiles down, but they won't shoot all of them down. Unless the missiles are coming from a long distance away. The way I understand it, the way it's described in the game manual, is the ship will fly a patrol mission around that ship, and anything threatens it, it will then break patrol and shoot down people. But I think he had not yet been set up in a good defensive posture around that other ship, and that's why it probably wasn't successful at shooting those missiles down. Now this guy is here. Haven't received any new information, so I decided to leave him there. There's nothing that he can click on as I check the priority targeting. I wonder how many people would have took the bait and went after these guys way out in the distance. It's interesting. How many people would have split their forces to go see what these guys are off in the distance? We didn't fall for that nonsense. Here we go. We're going to turn our lines. Take the pressure off these guards. Now the guard positions in the column are protecting our flanks, which is forward of the column and aft of the column. That's their primary role. Since we have 2 guards at either end, I think we have a strong guard position. The adamants are the
Yes, Commander.
light infantry, and the manticores are the archers guarding either side of our light infantry. The enemy had a light infantry, but we took him out. Now his archers are on the field. He has another light infantry and a medium infantry on the field, which we want to take care of. We want to weaken him down, which we're going to do. Now, as you see, we recalled that guy back to the fleet there, to Daedalus, but I have learned recently that you can have them go land on a friendly adamant, and when he docks on them, it goes inside the ship, he will be rearmed. I did that in the battle drills that I did. However, I haven't had an opportunity to actually do it in any succeeding battle since then. Because I haven't had Daedalus in the field, so it's... And then all my ships generally stay close together, so I don't really have a reason why I would send them to another place. But in a place like this where the Daedalus is way in the back, so that you can arm your rockets quicker, you could have them go to a friendly adamant or anything that's a carrier capable of arming rockets. So here we are. This guy's coming back. Despite what's happening, we've
Manticore is taking damage.
doing a tremendous amount of damage on the Cylons here, even though they have a cruiser. He's about to come under a whole wall of fire from our adamants. I'm pretty sure he can produce a wall of fire himself, but and he's doing a number on that Hathor there. On the Hathor there. But we're going to be stubborn and hold our line. He's not breaking our battle line. It'll bend, but it won't break. Missiles are up. This guy's about to get pulverized. Massive spear attack here.
Missiles on their way.
I have learned that I can call up my missile attacks from the prompt on the right there. I started doing it more, I think either towards the later part of the day on the 7th, or the next day that we fight after this is the 11th of September. So I know I was doing it on the 11th. But I don't recall if I had started doing it on the 7th. But I remember playing a lot of battles on the 7th, so. But because I participate in a lot of battles in this game, in World of Warships and Star Trek Online, I tend to forget the details of battles until I am watching the video. And Star Wars.
Missile tubes prepped.
This guy is about to wish he hadn't parked that beautiful cruiser there. According to the screen, we have to investigate the Scorpion wreckages. What, another 3 rounds? Our Raptors are up. This guy is out there investigating. Still wasn't sure what they wanted us to do, so I figured I'd just fly around this little circle area. Maybe I'll activate something, but all you could really do there was wait. Back to the main attack, or main battle line. This guy is about to be bushwhacked.
Manticore is taking
His
damage.
rear armor has collapsed. This is why numbers are important. The makeup of this fleet is almost one ship shy, actually, yeah, one ship shy of our 3,500 strength fleet. So this is one of the battles that led me into that direction of scaling up the ship with an officer.
So say we all.
Now his Revenant has turned away, so he's feeling pressure. Now at this time I'm still not cluing in that I need to be closer to fire rockets. But luckily, they hit this guy. I don't remember exactly when I started cluing in on the fact that I was firing the rockets from too far away. It was either later on the 7th, or I know by the time of the September 11th, I was very aware of it. So sometime during the course of the battles here on the 7th, I clued in on that reality. But this guy, because that guy held a relative same position, I got a lucky hit with my rockets. And on one of the combat footages, you actually see the rockets go over and just end this guy. That's 96 rockets coming after that guy. But I started targeting this other Talon. As you know, I am not bashful about sharing firepower. I don't believe in concentrating on one guy. I want firepower to hit every guy. Any target possible that we can hit, we're gonna hit. That's our plan. We're not myopic in any way whatsoever, and we're not selfish about firepower.
Manticore is taking
We want to
damage.
make sure everybody gets a turn at getting hit by our guns. Look at that wall of turrets that Revenant
Commander,
laid out on that
I
Minotaur.
gave you an order.
Sir, the commander was following up on a request from Sinan for damage reports before.
Mr. Quaid is not in command of this fleet, Lieutenant. Destroy those wreckages now.
Right. The boss says she wants them destroyed, that's what we're doing. Now, what happened here is I wasn't sure what exactly they were targeting. Didn't look like the thing was lighting up. See what I'm saying? See how you look at those and they're lighting up? So it took me a while to... He's targeting that one. Is he targeting the one I'm near? What's going on? There's a change in color. No change there whatsoever. There's a change there, but it's a Cylon guy. I don't want to attack that guy. And I wanted him to hit the thing closest to him, but no joy. So I had to give the weapons free command. That's a military term. If you're on an aircraft carrier, weapons tight, weapons free. That means they're launching a weapon. So it looks like we're going after that guy. It looks like it. Oh. Yep, the target indicators on that guy. So we got lucky. Here we go, our rocket attack. Hit this Talon straight over here. He put himself in a bad spot. We have the Viper defending us. So now we're going to bring our gun to bear on this guy. We're maintaining our column. See, we switched out from column or line to column. And now we're deploying our column to reposition our guns. We're not using any excuse to break discipline. We're not using any excuse to go to attack. We're maintaining our strong defense. Trying to grab onto this guy and it's not cooperating. So I had to go click on the thing there to get the guy activated. So here we are. And now these 8 guns on our adamant are gonna come bearing down on these guys straight ahead of us. It's a question of who wants to get hit more.
Yes, sir.
Gonna bring these 2 guys up to their proper elevation. To bring them in line in the right plane of our rest of our fleet. Got 2 turns to go before our missiles are recharged. Our Hathor may die, but they're going out with honor. That's right. Honor. But he's doing a good job absorbing damage from
Manticore is
that
taking damage.
Revenant. The Revenant is wasting time focus firing.
We've lost a Manticore.
We allow him to do that. There goes our point guy, our vanguard guy, bit the dust. But that's his job. And those rockets took out that Talon over there, so we destroyed 2 of his light infantry. We're weakening his medium infantry, and so far his archers have not been have an impact on our battle line. This guy's over here. He's gonna send him off to. He destroyed 1. Send him out to destroy the next guy. I think it's cool when you move your battle line from column to line and then you snake through there with your guns and you just start wiping out people both on either side of the line. You start knocking people out as you methodically weave your way through there like a snake. It's kind of impressive to see. Comes our guy. We're going to swing this guy over. Now look at us. We're not doing any fancy maneuvers. We're just doing basic maneuvers. We're moving as a fleet. We're tight. We're together. We're using our overlapping fire both to hit the enemy and protect our flanks. Protect our wing. We now have curved back into somewhat of a hook. Those guys who are north of us are gonna really feel it from our adamant. We gotta repair our armory there. Despite losing the vanguard, the rest of our fleet remains relatively minor damage. The Cylons, on the other hand, they have lost 2 ships. They're about to lose a really big cruiser. So they're not having a good day. The Supreme Commander is upset. He's going to be upset. If they lose a cruiser, he's gonna go all Kylo Ren on him with a lightsaber. Here we go. This guy is about to lay waste on either side of the line. This is the beauty of the battle, the column here. We're going to lay waste to either side of that line. Both port and starboard are going to feel those guns. I'm sure there are people who play the game that are really versed in tactics that are really appreciating the beauty of this line moving, and I'm pretty sure there are people who really don't have any idea how tactics work, and they're not really feeling it. Guided missiles are up. But we're gonna hit the big prize here. This guy's going down and he knows it. He hasn't been effective. He came in looking like he was gonna brute strength everybody, but he got met with a wall of fire that he wasn't ready for. These raptors are knocking out this secondary part of the mission.
Understood.
One by one. These guys are defending that raptor, I believe, right? Yep. We were in the process of sinking that Revenant, and those Nemesis weren't going to be a problem. You can see our battle line has totally decimated these guys, and they know it. So what did they do? What's their command decision? Here we are, a bunch of robots, bunch of toasters. And they have no emotions. But what did they decide to do? They do the only thing they can do. Bring our guns to bear. Here we are, I think we're ready. Yep.
Subsystem repairs are complete.
Here comes our raptor destroying that wreckage. Boom. Here comes our missile hitting that Revenant. They're decorating him. We know he's exposed.
Commander, all hostiles are disengaging. Admiral Kane isn't happy with us. But at least we stopped the
They did the
Cylons
only
from
thing that they
salvaging
could do.
more ammo
Run
from the
away.
Scorpion ships.
They ran away from that little white rabbit. That's what they did.
She forgets she must prove the stability of
Here
Colonial
comes this
fleet.
traitor giving us his nonsense.
Well, if the Cylons keep running away, maybe you can finally finish building those Jupiters. And build us one while you're at it. You could do with the firepower. Right, Commander?
I'm saying this guy's a traitor. Sounds like a traitor, he acts like a traitor. So far, everything he suggested to do has not benefited the fleet at all. If it was up to me, he'd have been executed months ago. Look at this battle line. Yeah. Archers are laying a masking fire on the enemy. It's pretty. Here come their goon squad of Talons. It's a pretty ship there, that Revenant. As we decorate the back of his ship. He's like, ooh, boy, we're in the wrong spot. He's like, they're not respecting our gunfire. Here's our rocket attack. Boom! His ship blew up, our ship blew up. Because one of their shipwreckages. See a raptor in the fire there. The next one. Boom. Deny the enemy. Military secrets. That was a beautiful battle. Did Cylons know at this point in the battle that they're dealing with people that know what they're doing? There's no doubt in their minds that they're gonna have a tough war ahead of them. So far, the Sharp XO has proved a nuisance to the Cylons' war effort. The Supreme Commander, again, is upset. And it's only the second battle of the day. He had 5 more defeats he'd have to live through. The big one was here. He had to run away to a safe face. Yeah, Revenite has a huge wing. Look at that. Why I want to field the Artemis before the Ranger is because I want to take advantage of the air wing. And in the 4,000 strength fleet that I want to build with 3 mana cores and 2 adamants, that will give you 4 squadrons. 2 Viper squadrons and 2 Raptors, and with enough points to arm them with Viper 2. And that's gonna be a pretty good battle group. And so that ended the second battle of Scorpia in Chapter 5. Return back to the wardroom. Well, that pretty much war protesters blockade the intercolonial courts, prepare camps, human rights, or sentient rights. Bunch of dummies. War going on, they're worried about dumb stuff. So here we go. I think that's where we pretty much ended our, at least for this video. And the next video pretty much starts off at this point in time. Completed 11 missions, or 10 according to that. Well, thank you for watching, and see you next episode. Have a good day.